So thank you so much for joining us today. I'd like to just start out with, if you wouldn't mind, introducing yourself and sharing with us a little bit about who you are and what you do for the state of Illinois.
Well, thank you. I'm Will Davis. I'm state representative of the 30th District, which is comprised 100% of South Cook. I represent 15 communities, including Homewood, Harvey, Dalton, Riverdale, Phoenix, Oak Forest, Midlothian, Posen, Robbins, Blue Island, out in the south suburbs. I am now serving in my 8th term, so I've been a legislator now for 15 years. And probably the most important hat that I wear in Springfield is that I'm the chairperson of the Appropriations Committee for Elementary and Secondary Education. So I'm responsible for the committee that works to disseminate dollars to school districts throughout the entire state of Illinois.
Great. So how did we get blessed to have you today?
Well, I guess sometimes problems beget certain conversations and dialogue. So I was blessed to get a visit from these gentlemen here to talk about some challenges with funding for alternative programs that wasn't necessarily addressed when we passed the new evidence-based funding formula for schools. They talked about an immediate situation that existed, and then of course we talked about the future of funding for those programs. So we had a great conversation, talked about some avenues in order to address the need that exists, but then I encouraged, give me the opportunity to come out and see what it is that you do out here. As the chairperson, I'm a state representative, even though I represent a district, I'm still a state representative, so it's important for me to see what the impact is of what I do across the entire state. To the extent in which I get an invitation to come, I'm always willing to go visit. So they set up an opportunity for me to visit schools today. Steve and I have been bopping around all over the place today, but I'm very happy with what I saw today. And we don't always get the opportunity to see the impact of what we do, and some of that is because sometimes we don't have an interest in seeing it. But I, on the other hand, kind of like to see the impact of what I'm doing. So when given the opportunity, and even if it means traveling outside of my district, I welcome the opportunity. Even just last week, I had an opportunity to visit Muhammad Seymour High School. And Muhammad Seymour is just north and west of Champaign. So I drove down to visit their high school, and I had an opportunity to walk around with the superintendent. I actually got a chance to speak to a couple of classrooms there, a government and a civic classroom while I was there as well. So it's important for me to try to be as hands-on as possible. And when I get the invitations, that gives me the most direct opportunity to see and to understand, but also to learn, because there's a lot that goes on in Springfield, and we make decisions not always knowing and understanding what the impact of those decisions are. And when you get a chance to go out, then at least you can see firsthand how important it is, the work that you do, but what the impact of that work is in particular.
Excellent. So, in a nutshell, what did you learn about West 40 today? And it was a long day, right? You started early.
We started early. I was a little late, so we probably walked out about 9:45, 9:50 or so, and we're just returning, more or less, absent of traffic and getting caught by a train at some point today. But we got a chance to visit several schools, including obviously Proviso East High School, Manheim Middle School, East Leighton, East Leighton High School, and then from there to Morton. No,
Close.
Ridgewood High
You
School.
were all over.
And then to East Morton. West Morton. Okay, I get the East and West mixed up. But West Morton High School.
Okay.
So I got a chance to see the operation of these programs at a lot of different levels, and ask, got a chance to ask a bunch of questions relative to why have these programs. I mean, we know what they're supposed to do, but my experience today in going to what I thought were some wealthier schools, the fact that they would still have programs like that, and you just want to get the nuance of the difference as to why Proviso has that program versus why Richwood High School has that program, and just understand some of the nuances and and the dynamics, learn about the communities, what are the demographics of the communities that we were in. And I think we saw a wide range of demographics, not only in terms of race and ethnicity, but also socioeconomic, from going to the different communities and seeing, visibly seeing those schools in particular. But, one of the things that I did learn is that the folks at the schools that are hands-on in the programs are tremendous. They really embrace what the programs are supposed to do. I mean, when you think about the idea of trying to recapture students that otherwise are out of school on their own in the street, so to speak, these school districts are working to say, you know what, if you want this opportunity, this is the way we can do it, and having that understanding that if they come back, it's not a stigma attached to it. It's really trying to get you to where you want to be in life. And these days, in order to get there, you've got to have that piece of paper to go along with you, whether it's a high school diploma or then subsequently maybe an associate's or a bachelor's degree. It's just very important to do so. And really what came through with everybody that I talked to was the passion and compassion. The passion to want to do the work, but the compassion to understand where the students are coming to them from, and then embracing that. And at the last school at Morton, one of the gentlemen said, which I thought was real interesting, he said that for some of us, meaning the folks working in the program, he's like, we have to recognize that we were once one of those kids. And that's what really drives our passion to be able to want to give back to them, because we were there, and however it happened, we had some level of success. But we know that there are some kids that may not be us, and their pathway to success may or may not come by even being a part of the program itself. But he said that sharing our stories with them, so they know that where they are, we once were. He said really, in his opinion, has really helped him to be able to show students that yes, I'm like you, but yes, I can yet still be successful. And I think that was probably the most poignant thing that I learned today, was when that gentleman said that to us.
Wow, love that. Well, we love that West 40 gives students hope. And I'm thrilled that you had a chance to see that, because that's exactly what we're doing. We're giving kids hope who may or may not have seen that they had those opportunities.
Right.
So in particular, I was going to ask you if there was anything that jumped out at you, but I think you've kind of shared that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share with us, an experience or?
Well, I think having, again, the opportunity to see it in action also reinforces the need for trying to make sure that the resources are available. Because these young people are kind of a forgotten group of folks, whether it's through the Tapestry program or also the Seniors Plus program. These are kind of the students that could very easily fall through the cracks. But at the end of the day, someone like myself wants these young people to graduate and become productive members of society. And for whatever reason, no fault of their own necessarily, but for whatever reason, they're struggling to get there. And that's what these programs are designed for. And what I saw today were great examples of these programs in action. And we should be talking about the work that you do here, and also, as I learned, some of the similar work that other districts do as well. But I learned a lot from being in West 40 today, and really spending time here. So the opportunity to come and to spend the day was no problem at all, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity to come and to see it. And thanks to Steve for showing me the diversity that exists out here, and how different schools, regardless of who they are implementing these programs, because again, they have the desire to try to help these students, regardless of what color they are or whatever their socioeconomic background is. They want to help students and give them that help, that extra push, to be those productive members in society here in Illinois that we desire. So again, I'm extremely thankful for the opportunity and grateful I had a chance to do it. And again, thanks Steve for setting up the day for us and giving of his day to get me around to all the school districts and school buildings as well. So I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.